What's up everyone? It's your girl Rayvon from Love Lola. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making the Nettie clutch by Rosa pattern. How adorable is this sweet little thing? She's so cute, so delicate. It is a clutch. The pattern makes it with a wristlet, but if you know me, everything I wear, it has to be a crossbody. I'm a crossbody girl. That's all I wear. So I did find a way to turn it into a crossbody, of course. You know, you have to modify these bags to make it fit for you. So this is the Nettie, and let's go over the specs just a little bit really quick. So she says that this is a boisterous beginner level bag. Finished, it is 9.5 inches wide by 5 inches high by 1 inch deep. And that's going to be 24 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters. There is a magnetic closure, and like I said, a wristlet strap. Inside, you're going to find 12 card slots. So if you're a card slot person, she's got you covered. There's also 3 slip pockets. That's good for cash or documents. There's a zippered pocket, and then there's a large main compartment that can hold most common size cell phones. So yes, this is kind of a small pattern, but it's got everything you're looking for in the back. Okay, like she said before, we've got our snap closure right here in the front. We've got all of those card slots that we talked about. We've got this slip compartment and also this slip compartment. Let's see if my phone fits. She said that most cell phones fit, so let's see if she knows what she's talking about. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Well, there we go. Mine fits easily. Very cool. It might even fit in the front compartment. Yep, sure does. So yeah, so this is a nice size little clutch. It's got that zipper pocket that she was talking about. So if you got change, if you still carry change around, cash. I don't. Everything's card nowadays. But if you do, she's got you covered. Oh, look. On the opposite side, there's also a slip pocket. Look at that. I made this bag, and I don't even know all the cool compartments it has. All right, there we go. Yeah, there's hella space in here. So, like I said, it does come with instructions on how to add a wristlet right here. I went ahead and did I added grommets and T-bars to get a strap connected. I'm using these cute heart connectors because why not? Aren't they so cute? If you like these connectors or these grommets or these T-bars, any of these items, they are available on my website. lovelolalooks.com. I will put a link. I will go ahead and put a link to all of my hardware in case you're interested. So okay, so let me try it on for you. I don't have my glasses on, so I hope this isn't blurry. How pretty is this? So cute. I love small bags, so this is perfect for me when I'm going out. Like, all I need is my phone, my credit cards, and lip gloss, and I'm good to go. This is perfect. So, I really do like this bag. I hope that you like it too, and if you do, then come hang out with me. Let's go make it. Let's go. I've cut it. I want the strap to be thin. I think clutches like this are really cute with a thin strap. So I want it to be about 1 inch wide. So I cut this, I want it to be about 1/2 of an inch wide. So I cut this I don't cut it exactly 2 inches. I always cut it a little bit shy of 2 inches. So this is about 1 7/8 of an inch wide. And I just like to do that on my straps just to make sure I don't have any issues with my sliders or anything like that. So anyway, I've cut it 1 7/8 of an inch wide, and then I drew a line down the middle. And now we're gonna get it pinned. All right, all we're gonna do is fold it into that line and then fold it together and pin. Skip down a little ways and do it again. Okay, and we're gonna get the entire thing pinned. Okay, now we're gonna go and sew this at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along both long ends. Okay, so today I'm gonna be getting all of my hardware for my strap connected with rivets. I'm trying to decide which one of these I wanna connect it with. I want this purse to be kind of dainty, you know, with the flowers and stuff. So I'm trying to decide, I think the heart will be cute, right? With the flowers. I think I'm gonna do the heart, just because I've never used the heart, so. And then I can incorporate this charm, because I got some heart charms too that I never use. So let's do the hearts, why not? Okay, so first we're gonna get the adjuster connected. So grab your strap. You want it to be the correct way, facing up. I went ahead and poked holes where I needed them to be. We're gonna bring it up and over. And now we're just gonna place those rivets right in those holes. Your strap is now wrong side facing up. Make sure that it doesn't twist, and run your hand all the way through to the end. Go ahead and grab your swivel hook and get it on. Okay. Make sure that your strap is not twisted. Now this is still wrong side facing up. You're gonna just run it up through one side of that adjuster. Okay. We've run it up and over our adjuster. Up and over. And that's it. Okay. All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so before we get started, let me show you what I did really fast. So I wanted to use this as my tip on my flap, but it doesn't fit the shape. You see how there's that extra space? And maybe you don't see it, but there's extra space in there. So it doesn't fit. So what I did was I just took a piece of paper and put my trim that I wanted to use on it. And then I drew the shape of it, the outline. Then I just cut this out. And I got my original pattern piece and I placed it right on the tip, and then I just used this to make sure that it fit. And once I got it where it fit where I needed it to be, I grabbed some tape and I taped that on, and then I use this new template to trace out my... Let me talk about interfacing really quick. I have interfaced the back of my flaps with Sofuse Plus. I've also interfaced the back of my main panel with Sofuse Plus. I did not interface my gusset pieces because I just didn't think it was necessary. You can. I'll be using waterproof canvas as my lining, so I think that I'll be fine. I have cut out my stabilizer pieces, and I will be just inserting them in as I make the bag instead of attaching them beforehand. I'm using Pelon Peltex 70 for my stabilizer. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and used my pattern piece to mark where I'm going to be installing, and then I went ahead and installed my the male side of my magnetic snap. Now, this is your lining. This is the lining of your flap that you're installing that on. Now go ahead and grab your exterior piece, and you want to place these right sides facing and get them pinned together. All right, now we're gonna go and sew from here all the way back around, stopping at the top at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let's trim this down to 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. If you have pinking shears, then go ahead and use that. I don't. Okay, let's turn it out. Once you have it turned out, go ahead and get your seams flattened out. I love this roller. If you want something similar, I got this off of Amazon, and I have a link to this and all of the tools that I like to buy. I have the link to all of them in the description box under this video. Okay, once you've got it flat, now we're going to go and add a top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along the seam that we just sewn together. Okay, so around and back up. All right, once you have your top stitching done, you can grab your main panel and use your main panel pattern piece to go ahead and mark where you're going to be putting the other side of your magnetic snap, and go ahead and get that installed. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to grab my flap and go ahead and insert my stabilizer inside. Once you've got your stabilizer tucked inside, go ahead and get a thin 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape and run it along the straight edge of the exterior side of that flap. Then grab your main panel. Your magnetic snap should already be installed. Mine isn't because it's too long to explain, but just pretend that it is. And with your snap installed, you want to position it so that you're working on the opposite end of the side that's closest to the snap. So we're over here. We're going to measure up 1 1/4 inch and centered, and we're going to place our flap at that mark. You should have the center of your flap marked already. There we go. Okay, now we're going to head over to the machine, and we're going to sew this onto this main panel. We're going to do it at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and you're not going to sew over the edges. Okay, you want to start right where that other seam the thread is that we did from the top stitching. And she said don't back stitch. Leave your thread long to pull through the back. And we're sewing from here to here at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, if you left your thread long, then go ahead and pull it through to the back side and tie it off. Okay, next we're going to take this and fold it down at the seam. Don't pull it too hard, but do fold it right at the seam. Flatten it as best as you can. I love using this tool to flatten my seams. I have it listed in my description box as well. I got it from Amazon and I love it. It's actually for key fobs, but it works great on seams. Okay, so now we're gonna go and add a top stitch to this at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. We're gonna start just like before from where that other top stitch is, go straight across and into there. This time I am definitely not going to be back stitching. I'm gonna leave my thread long and pull it to the back. Okay, let's turn it over and give a little tug on those strings, and that's going to pull the other string up. And then we can go ahead and get it tied. You can burn it, you can use freight check, whatever your preference is. Okay, so what we want to do right now is basically find our placement for our label if you're going to be using like a name tag or something. So what she tells you to do is fold your ends. Okay, fold your ends over your stabilizer. I don't have my stabilizer attached yet. I'm going to be doing that later. So I'm just going to take my stabilizer and use it to fold over that seam like she said. Now she says to just use some double-sided tape. Make sure it's some tape that will come off easily because this is not going to stay folded over. This is just so we can get the placement for our name tag. The seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch. So what you also can do, if you're wondering why I have these lines, is I just drew 6/8 of an inch because the seam allowance is 3/8 of an inch, and that will put that at 6/8. The point is you want this bent over your stabilizer, or you can mark down 6/8 of an inch and fold down to that line just so we can get the placement for our bag tag. I feel like I said that 5 times. I'm sorry. You're like, I got it, right? Golly. Okay, so now fold it over and match up the tops and the sides. Okay. Bring that over. Okay. Very nice. Okay, and once you have your flap snapped, you can now find the placement for your label. Now do take into consideration that you still have the seam allowance over here. I believe it's 3/8 of an inch. So, you know, leave room for that. All right. I think I want to place mine about right there is good. I'm not too concerned about it. I just don't want it too close to the bottom where it's going to be curving. So I'll say about right there looks good to me. Okay, once you've got your label installed, we can go ahead and set this aside for now, and we're going to work on our card slots. Now she gives you some measurements to make. I'm not going to give those numbers out. I don't want to compromise the pattern, but go ahead and get that marked. And you want to place your card slots where they are wrong sides facing up, and then starting from your left side, make the marks that she told you to. And I went ahead and did both of mine. I feel like it's easier to do them at the same time. Okay, so once you've got those lines on, you're going to start from the left, and your first fold is going to be wrong sides touching. I'm just gonna press it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Help me get that crease. Making sure that my sides stay lined up the way they're supposed to. Okay, and now I'm going to fold on that second line. Okay, for the next fold, we're going to rotate it. So we folded wrong sides together first. Now we're gonna fold right sides together. So I'm just gonna fold right on that line. Making sure that my sides stay lined up as best as I can. Give it a little press. Okay, back to the other way. Well, wrong sides touching. And we're going to just repeat that alternating sides that we folded on. Okay, once we've got our card slots finished, we're going to go and do a top stitch along each top. Okay, so top stitch across there, there, and there on each one. We're going to do it at like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Make sure that you are not top stitching with it down. You want to lift it up and just get that piece at a time, okay? Adjustment zone here. Okay, once I finished that, I went ahead and did a quick little press just because I like to get my card slots to look as crisp as possible. Now we are going to take it, open it up, and we want to line up the two short sides, and we want them to be right sides touching. Pin it together. And I'm going to go ahead and do both. So again, we're just grabbing, opening it up, and placing our right sides together. And then we're going to pin them, and we're going to go and sew these at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once you have that done, go ahead and trim that seam allowance down to 1/8 of an inch. Then we're going to turn it right side out. Okay. Get it back in shape. There we go. And maybe trying to fight you on staying flat. I know mine is. I'm gonna just press it really quick to help it to calm to calm down. Relax, relax. I'm just pressing that seam. All right. Okay, so now we're going to open it up. There we go. And now we're going to give the whole thing a press. I'm trying to line it up as best as I can. I don't know if I did something weird, but that seam that we just made is not all the way at the bottom. It's a little bit higher up. So I don't know if that's something I did weird, or if yours is like that too, then maybe it's okay. We'll find out together. All right, now let's grab a ruler. I have so many rulers, but I can never find one. Oh, here's a piece of one that my daughter broke. We'll use this. Okay, and she said to measure in from the side 4 1/4 of an inch. Oh, there it is. When I stop looking for something, I find it. All right, we're gonna measure in 4 1/4 inch in from the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/4 inch. Bam. 4 and 1/4 inch. And then we are going to get a marker that is a disappearing marker or a removable marker, whatever you call it, and draw a line. Okay, okay, and now she says to now we're gonna go and stitch that. If you like, you can go ahead and back stitch once every time you go over one of these folds, just to give a little bit extra stability to it. Okay, so now we are going to measure out 4 inches from the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to trim that. Well, my ruler is not thick enough to do that. The nerve of me to think that I could. One, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to just trim that away. I like that. I like that because I know I can't be the only one when I do card slots. It never winds up being the length that it's supposed to be. Never. I don't think I've ever finished a card slot and it was right on the money. So this is great. Good job, Alexis. I like that. Yes. Yes. Love it. Whoopsie. All right. Move, fabric, get out the way. Get out the way, fabric, get out the way. Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we can set this aside. Grab your zipper pocket piece number 2 and place it right side facing up. Also grab your zipper. This is the 8-inch zipper. And you want to place it on either side with the raw edge lined up with the top and the bottom. Okay, now we're going to go and baste these on at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to use double-sided tape because, oh my God. Okay, grab zipper pocket number 1. One side is slightly longer than the other. This is 8.5 inches and this is 8 inches. We're gonna place it right on top. And when you put that zipper on, try your best to center it, so there's the same overhang on each side. So now we're gonna line that up. And we're going to get that clipped on both sides. All right, and we're gonna go and get both sides attached at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So you may need to put your zipper foot on. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this over and I'm gonna give it a really quick little press, just because I don't want no problems. This is the top. I don't want my zipper trying to get caught on this fabric. Sometimes that happens when I get it added at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm gonna give it a quick little press so that hopefully I won't have that issue today. 'Cause I ain't got time, honey. So annoying when that happens. My God. Okay. Now we're going to go back to our machine and do a top stitch along both sides. Now make sure when you do this, you're not doing the underside. You want the top stitch to be on the top of your zipper. And you're catching all of that seam allowance underneath the side that you're top stitching as well. Okay, once we have it top stitched, we're gonna turn it over. And she said that pick the side that you want to be at the top. I don't have a preference, so I'm just flipping it over. And we're gonna smooth it out. And the top is gonna fold where it folds. Now, if you want to get it as taut as possible, you could, you know, stick a ruler under there. All right, and then I'm gonna press this really quick. We're gonna press it again, so I'm sure this is unnecessary, but I like to do a little bit of overkill. Okay, and now we're going to press this over again, like that. And I am just pressing it down to meet up with the top stitching that I did earlier. Right there. And I'm going to press it. Okay, and now we're going to go and top stitch 1/8 of an inch from the top all the way across. I'm gonna put a few pins because this material is pretty thick and it's not wanting to stay. It doesn't want to listen. It's like my daughter. It's crazy. This canvas must be kin to Lola. All right, let's go get that top stitch. Alexa? Okay, so we've got that top stitched, and this is pretty freaking cool. It was an interesting development. I didn't see that coming. Very cool. I like that. You know, Alexis has a way of putting things together that's pretty genius. I like that. I never would have thought to do that to get this effect. Good job. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I like my zipper to open to the right, close to the left. So I think that means, I think we put it on this way. I can never remember. We'll just see. So let's get our zipper installed really quick so we can figure out what's going on. I'm putting mine on from the right side, and let's see what happens when we do that. Okay, that's right. Oh, I wanted to open this way, yeah. It's a little crooked though. Good morning, gorgeous. I need to snip this one just a little bit to get it to go on straight. All right. Let me put the small side in first. I don't know if I said that. When you're installing zippers on your zipper tape, the small side goes in first. I remember when I first did this, I didn't know that. And I was putting it in the other end, and oh my God. I must have spent an hour trying to get a zipper on. It was crazy. Okay. Once you've got it on, she says to give it a press. At this point, Ravon, just leave it on. Well, actually, it turns off by itself. It's got a shortage in it or something. I need to buy a new one, but I'm just being cheap. Cricket, if you hear me, I sure would take a replacement. I'm a loyal customer of yours. I've had an account with you guys for years. I buy your stuff. But my thing stopped working after about a year. Well, it didn't stop working. It just got a shortage after about a year, and I just The warranty was up and I was just too lazy to, I don't know. But I sure would like a new one. Okay. Okay, so now that we have it pressed, we're gonna go ahead and just take the zipper off again. And we're going to turn it inside out. Okay, zipper pocket number 2. I get confused very easily, so let me go back and look at this real quick. Because what we're doing is stitching the sides closed on zipper pocket number 2. Let's see if that's the longer one or the shorter one. Zipper pocket number 2 is the 7x7, so that's going to be the shorter one. So let's line up our zipper teeth. On either side. There we go. And now we're going to be sewing this shut. This little piece. Along here and along here. She said lay it so that the zipper is face up from within. Okay, so what she means is, so this is the part that we're about to sew shut. Naturally, the zipper wants to go down, right? Okay, so this is what we're closing. And you see how the zipper kind of wants to go down. That way the teeth are facing the same direction as this bottom part. Well, I think she wants us to make it where the teeth are facing up, the opposite way. So just flip it like that. And now match the teeth up. Does that make sense? So now the teeth are facing towards this top piece. So now the teeth are facing towards this way as opposed to facing towards the bottom. I hope that's what she meant. I'm going with it. Same thing on the other side. This is the bottom that we're closing up. We're going to take those teeth and make them face the other way. So you want the zipper and the seam allowance going up and out of the way. Both sides. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go and get these sewn closed. Chewy, what's the matter, Betty? Okay, now let's turn this back out. This is crazy. Very interesting. I love it, I love it, I love it. So cool. Look at that. Got a little pocket. Okay, girl. I see you coming up with new ways to do stuff. That's cool. Yes. Okay, girl. Very cool. Oh, that goes there. Okay. I'm tripping. She said to go ahead and put your zipper pull back on. Okay, so grab one of your main lining pieces and lay it down right side facing up, and then grab one of your card slots and you want to measure down 5/8 of an inch and then position one of your card slots there. Then pin along the sides, and now we're going to go and sew along, we're going to baste it down along the side, the bottom, and the other side. And we're going to just do like 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once we have that connected, we're going to measure up 1/2 inch from the bottom. This is crooked. Why is that crooked? It's so annoying. It must have shifted on me. I should have used double-sided tape. So annoying. Ugh. I'm not doing this over. Jeez. Okay, measure up 1/2 inch and place your zippered pocket on. God, it's gonna bother me that that's crooked. I don't have time to fix that. I guess I have to give this away. Oh, I'll keep it for myself, actually. I have some maroon shoes that this will look cute with. Okay. Measure up 1/2 inch and then place your pocket on it. Pin it. Good, so it doesn't shift. It is what it is. Well, there went one of my pins. I guess I should have used a bigger one. Another one bites the dust. All right, there we go. Okay, and now we're gonna go and get this basted on down the side, the bottom, and back up. Okay, we can set that aside. Grab your other main card slot, your other main panel piece. And then we're going to grab our other card slot that we made. We are going to measure up 3/4 inch. Okay, and now we're going to go and base this on the side, the bottom, and the other side. Okay, so now we have our 2 pieces, the card slots and the zipper pocket pieces, the 2 main panel pieces, I guess I should say. And we're just gonna take these and place them right sides together. And what we're gonna do next is we're just gonna sew right along the bottom on each end for about 1 inch. That's it. So go ahead and check really quick and make sure that your card slots are facing up. You should be able to, I feel like I need a light, huh? Is that better? Okay, yeah. So you should be able to stick your hands right there for the card slots. All right. We're gonna sew this at 3/8 inch seam allowance. 1 inch each side. Okay, so we've got that sewn, and if you would like, you can go ahead and press this. And I don't know if I mentioned, but that should have been sewn on at 3/8 inch seam allowance. And now you can press it if you like, just so that when we turn it out later, it'll be a little bit easier for it to be able to be turned in. Up to you. Do what you do. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, so let's grab our little let's grab our little gusset pieces and let's have them both wrong side facing up. On the right side of your exterior piece, measure out 3/4 inch and draw a line along that straight edge. On your lining piece, measure in from the left side 3/4 inch and draw a straight line. Now I suggest you go ahead and measure 3/8 inch from the bottom and draw a line across there. 3/8 of an inch of seam allowance and draw a line across there. I am also going to be drawing a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance down the other side. And I just found that it was a little bit easier for me to do that. It's not necessary. So, okay, now where we drew that large, you know, seam allowance at 3/4 of an inch, we're going to place some double-sided tape along there. And I'm going to, same thing on the lining. Okay, and now we are going to place these right sides touching. And we're going to sew along the opposite side of the side that has the tape. So this side. We're going to sew at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I went ahead and drew my seam allowance along the bottom to make it easier. And what you can do is go ahead and draw that curve in too. Right there, see? Just to help make it a little bit easier. And when I sew, I am going to sew back up from the bottom. I'm going to sew back up 1.5 inch. I think that's a good spot to stop to help everything smooth out. Okay, so now I'm going to go and sew, like I said, along this side at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, along the bottom and back up to that mark. Quick correction. I drew like my curve going to that line, but that's not right. Because we're sewing at a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So what I should have done was drew my line here for my 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then that curve was to be drawn there. I hope that makes sense. We're going at a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance around the entire thing and stopping there. That's the mark that we made earlier. All right, so now we're going to trim that down. To about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we're going to turn it out. The first one I did, I stopped down here and it just was hard to get my corners to match up, so I just felt like it was better to do this in a little higher up. And also what I did was, it just whatever works for you. You turn it out and then you fold it in, but when I did mine, I wound up having to turn it inside out again because it was so off. And then I just did this while I was still on this side. And then I turned it out. It really doesn't matter. Whatever is easiest for you. I just had a little bit of a hard time peeping inside trying to get it lined up correctly. All right. Now get that corner poked out. There we go. And now we are going to we're going to just pin it and go and sew around the entire thing at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once you've got both of those done, go ahead and grab your piece. And you're going to take these, and you want them to be lining sides touching. And find your midpoint. Oh God, why is that one bigger than the other one? I hate my life. I mean, I guess it's close enough. All right, we're gonna go and get those basted on. Okay, now grab your side panel pieces and you want to place them right side facing down and pin along the edges. I'm going to go ahead and find my centerpiece. My center mark, I guess I should say. Because this canvas has a little bit of a stretch or something to it, so everything keeps getting a little wonky. And I'm sick of it! Okay, now let's go and sew both of these sides at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, once we have that attached, we're going to trim this down to 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now press this out. Okay, and we are going to go and add a top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along both sides, right on top of that seam allowance. Okay, so let's grab both of our panels. And we're going to be placing these right sides together. Our zipper is towards the top right now, and so is our flap. I've marked the midpoint of my pieces. So I'm going to line that up first. I don't know if you can see it, but my lining has shrunk quite a bit from all of the sewing that I've been doing. But it's okay. Now my flap is super thick, so I'm just going to do my best to get it out of the way and then match up my lining and exterior at that midpoint. But yeah, so my lining has done some shrinking. So I'm going to make sure that when I sew this together, I'm going to sew it with my exterior facing up so that I can use that as my guide, because baby, my lining is nuts. All right, now I'm going to clip along the sides, smoothing everything out, trying to get it to lay as best as possible. Okay, now we're going to sew around the entire thing at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, let's get it. Okay, once we have that sewn together, we can trim this down. She said to use your pinking shears. Trim it down to about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, now we are going to reach in through that hole and carefully get this turned out. Okay, now reach in and get your seams pulled out. Once you've got it turned out, you want to massage those seam allowances, get them really smooth. I love using this to get my corners nice and flat. Okay, once you've got it as smooth as you would like it, you are going to go ahead and pin around the entire thing so that we can do a top stitch. And when you pin this top, make sure you don't get that stuck in there, okay? I know I like to stitch from the exterior side, so I'll probably put a pin on this just to make sure I don't make a mistake and get it caught, because I know how I am. I can tell myself 10 times, okay, don't forget to make sure you don't get the top stuck, and I'll still get the top stuck. So that's just going to help me with that. Once you have it completely pinned all the way around, we're going to go and top stitch at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. She said go ahead and start at one of the curves and don't back stitch. Leave your thread long at the beginning and the end, because we're going to pull it and get that tied off a little bit later. Yeah. Okay, all I'm going to say is this. Don't be like me. Don't forget to put your zipper flip back on. Because I totally forgot and I paid the price. I'm so sad. It's all good. I will live to sew another day. Okay, let's take care of these threads. I wish I would have just sewn it. All right, let's grab a needle and get these threads pulled to the inside. I usually don't do this because I'm super lazy, but I'm gonna do it today. Where's my big old leather thread needle so I can pull it all at one time? I'm not being lazy while still being lazy. That should do it, right? Look how big that is. Jeez Louise. Ooh, $1. Yes. This dollar has to have been in here for like 6 years. All right, and now I'm just going to stick it back through a seam in the lining. Reach in through that hole and pull it through. Tie it in a knot. All right, so now I'm going to go and grab my stabilizer piece. It looks like I'm going to have to trim it down just a tad bit. All right, and now I'm just going to reach in and get that in. I like to do this at the end because it just seems a little bit easier for me for the turning. When I'm trying to turn a bag with my stabilizer in it, it's just a hassle. Because I like to use Pill-on-Peltex. So I like it to be a little bit thicker, so. I like the way this feels, but I don't like to turn it. So this is what I've come up with to make it easier. Okay, now once I've got that in, I'm going to grab some sort of fabric glue and apply it right along that seam that's open, that hole, and then I'm going to use that to get it closed up. Oh shit. Okay, now grab your rivet press or whatever you use to make your holes and go ahead and place a hole right in the corner on both of these. So we're going to be punching 4 holes. Then you want to measure down 1.5 inch from each corner. So here, 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 and here. And you want that mark to be in between the top stitch, you know, that you put on this little side piece and your top stitch around the edge, because you don't want to pierce any thread. So make sure when you put that mark, you have it in between those seams. Okay? Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is installing our rivets to get these flaps attached to the clutch. Now, she said if you're going to be using one of those little wristlet strap things with the rivet D-ring, then what you would do is stick your rivet in that first hole coming through the back, and then you would put that little wristlet thingy on, and then you're going to take this and you want your exterior to go towards that rivet first. Okay, and now you're going to take the other side of your rivet and close it. I'm not installing one of those wristlet things, so there we go. That's what you're doing if you're not installing a wristlet. And then we're going to repeat it for the other side. So I'm just going to put this through the front. Put it through the other side. And get my back on. I gave up. It wants me to close it first. It's a lot of material going on. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that reinforced because it's not gonna stay. It's like I told you, girl. You play too much. It's because I'm using a small. I need a medium, but I don't have it. Story of my life. You don't have what you need? The audacity. Okay. And now repeat the same thing to the other side. Remember, when you add this gusset, the exterior part of the gusset is touching the rivet first. Okay, once you've got your rivet set, you are pretty much done. This is so cute. Okay, now if you have a, I love the way she did this. This is so different. Okay, girl, I see you. Okay, so if you have a trim that you want to get installed, we can go ahead and do that now. I'm going to be installing this piece. If you like it, this is available on my website. I will have a link for it down below, just in case. All right, I'm gonna get it installed. There we go. Super cute. Okay, and I did not do a wristlet because I'm going to be putting some grommets up here because I want, every purse I wear has to be a crossbody. I'm gonna find a way to make it be a crossbody. So I'm going to get these grommets installed at the top. I'm just gonna eyeball it. About right there, I think, and about right there would be cool. Or should I put it on the back? I'll do the top. Okay. And now I'm going to get these installed the way you would install any grommets. Now, I'm horrible with nails, so I just use a pair of tweezers when I do this. Just to hold it up, you know. And then I just push my O-ring against it and run it through. That's it. And now you can attach whatever you like to it. I made a strap. This is what the inside looks like. If you like these T-bars, I do have them available on my website. I will have a link for them down below. And I already made my strap. I did it first this time. Got it out of the way. Oh, did I record it? I hope I recorded it. And I think I'm gonna add this heart charm because why not? It's so cute. Love it. We're finished. So cute. I really wasn't expecting the way that she put this together. That was pretty cool. Definitely learned some new techniques, so I love it. All right, let me get some pictures for you. So much for joining me for this video today. If you make this bag, I want to see it. Do you understand? I want to see it. So tag me. You can find me on all of the social media platforms. And I'll also go ahead and add all of that stuff in my, I'll add a link to all of that stuff in the video description box as well. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.